I think you talk and then you just hope it does well.
Maybe.
Which is most of social media. You know, you don't know that it actually works. You just turn it on and hope.
It just happens. Like the first time I used Instagram, I was like, so we just take pictures? That's really what I guess it's now natural for all.
Well, sure, yeah. You look at it, it's like, oh, it looks really simple, and now it's a political platform. You can hate people via
like Twitter.
pictures.
We were supposed to just be dicks on Twitter, but now everybody's fucking talking about politics. Anyways, this is professional wrestling. We're here to talk about pro wrestling.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So the stream is going fucking crazy about this. So what is it now that we should fucking talk about? Because I have no clue. Should we talk about independent wrestling, Japanese wrestling?
Well, all wrestling is fucking wrestling. It's if you want to shoot, it's bullshit. But overall, if we could talk about anything, I would really like to talk about why doesn't professional wrestling have any fucking rules anymore?
Spots.
Oh, is that why? So we can have these guys who couldn't draw money in the fucking circus, so we're gonna have them try and not draw money in a wrestling ring.
Jesus Christ. I already love you so much.
I'm a little lost on the whole subject because, you know, if you haven't noticed, this fucking circus doesn't come around like it used to, which means that fucking swinging on a goddamn rope is not going to be a long-term career for anybody.
Yes.
And this is especially a problem in independent pro wrestling where there's no money, so these motherfuckers are doing it for free and in the process burying the main event.
Oh my God, yeah. So all right, this is a perfect way to start off. Look, I'm in the business. I'm a professional wrestler.
Are you really? I don't mean to insult you, but are you really a professional wrestler or?
I'm a independent wrestler. I'm looking to be a professional wrestler because I'm not making money.
Well, that's a very good attitude and a very strong attitude to have.
I didn't come in the business for money, even though that's what it was intended to be for. I'm in the business because I want to be in the business, and I don't really deal with politics because I don't care about the money. I want it to be my career, but as far as right now, I just broke in, so I'm not looking to get any pay.
You just broke in. Did you come in out of a school, or did you really lie to somebody and break in?
Out of school. No. I came out of a school. I was wrestling for 3 years because I started at 14. I'm 17 now. And, basically, I broke in at 4. I broke in just recently. I've had 4 matches. And basically, this is what I'm gathering up about the whole rule situation. The whole rule situation is rules don't apply if it doesn't apply to the spot. That is the whole thing. So let's say you have a fucking suicide dive clusterfuck outside. Right?
Every show there's a suicide dive clusterfuck.
Yeah. And the referee is supposed to be counting, correct? Yeah. The referee doesn't count because they're going to do a suicide.
Because the fucking referee's in on this shit, and that's the problem.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Like, professional wrestling has just gone dry. At least independent professional wrestling has gone completely dry for me. Just for the simple fact that, number one, like you mentioned, there is absolutely no rules. Number two, every match wants to be WrestleMania. And number three, there's no psychology.
Well, not only that is everyone who seemed to have learned from somebody else who had no fucking idea what they're doing. Every single match seems to have the suicide dive or the big splash spot, and where 5 guys who've never met each other, or supposedly have never met each other, stand around in what I like to call the human fire trampoline. You can see the spot coming 7 minutes earlier, and they all, for some reason, are doing this Mortal Kombat shit where, oh, I have a headache, and oh no, a man is jumping, and then they all, fall together in a real nice.
My favorite thing in independent wrestling is when they sell for like a quarter of a second and then they go Superman. That's my favorite.
Oh, yeah, isn't that fantastic?
And sorry, I cut out. I don't know why. Am I still on?
I think so.
Yeah, strong. Yeah. Basically, what I've gathered up is one of the things that I've realized, I guess you could say, about independent wrestling is that nobody gives a shit whether it makes sense or not, they care about the claps. And if they care about the
Well, not
claps,
only that is, I think in really, because there are some dudes, and this is a very, very, very small group. There's a small group of dudes who actually do earn somewhat of a living, are able to sustain and make a living wage from moving around to all the different territories. They come from the guys on the coast, on the West Coast. They work San Diego, they work Los Angeles, they work San Francisco, they work Portland, they work in Seattle, and they travel around between those places all week long. So I think it's a lot of, they have no fucking idea where they are. These guys have to constantly move around. They're not up on their angles, because there aren't any. You can't have long-term angles if no one can remember where the fuck they are.
Well, I mean, it also comes to the fact that, the territories are quote-unquote dead, which I don't believe that, but that's what everybody wants to say.
Well, here's the thing. When you say territories, a lot of people think that you're referring to a time, a place gone by. No, the territories are still there. You still have that old-fashioned wrestling mentality of, when you go to the towns. In fact, if you go to any town, let's say more than 100 miles from your last town, you'll notice the vibe, the attitude is different, because that particular group has nurtured a particular type of audience, and that is what you mean by territories. Now, when you said territories, that means if you tried to run shows in someone else's town, they'd come and fucking blow out the fucking windows in your car and say, "Get the fuck out of here, this is our town." Now you have a bunch of guys who are goddamn former comic book store owners, who just bought a fucking ring and have their buddies fucking claim to train people, and they're taking money off of people, $150 a time every month. And that's another story entirely. But the territory idea is still there, because you cannot treat every audience the same. If that's what you're doing, that thinks that you're going to get a job working for Vince McMahon and make millions of dollars. And there's a long way in between those two things.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's so many things, I guess, people believe about the territories, that they're dead, or the same mentality is gone. And I've even heard my own trainer say, "Oh, kayfabe is dead because of independent wrestling," and he's super bitter about it. I mean, there's a reason why.
Well, no. See, outlaw wrestling is not why kayfabe is dead. Kayfabe is dead because Vince McMahon stepped on its neck because it was causing him taxes. That's why kayfabe is dead. He went on television and told everyone it's a bunch of horseshit. Now, people knew it was horseshit before, but you didn't tell people. I'm going to quote somebody right now. Gregory Helms. I heard him say, the Hurricane Helms. I heard him say something really great, and I think that other people should hear it. Yes, kayfabe is dead, but just because it's dead doesn't mean you have to stomp the grave and set the cemetery on fire.
Exactly.
People have always known that this is a show. There's this, and people have always known, and some people have known that fucking professional boxing is a fucking show. That is, and people will soon find out that the so-called Ultimate Fighting Championship is also a show. But we can talk
Everything's
about that
work
some other time.
nowadays. Everything's work
Absolutely.
nowadays.
If it happens in front of a camera, it is not legitimate, and don't let social media let you believe otherwise.
And the funny thing is, now that we sidetracked to the territories and stuff like that.
Sure.
The funny thing is, recently I went to a show called Punk Pro Professional Wrestling.
Where was
it? This is in Port Richey, Tampa. And I personally know the promoter. They're very nice. They're very great people. And I'm willing to work for them very soon. But the thing is, I'm not trying to put them over, but the thing is, with them, they understand how independent wrestling has changed, wrestling itself, and has influenced the way wrestling people think should be.